The geology of Kamiak Butte was shaped by a unique series of events, including the formation of quartzite, the formation of the Columbia River basalts, and erosion caused by the Missoula floods. Millions of years ago, parts of the Pacific Northwest were engulfed by a shallow sea. Over time, the sand present in this sea was compressed, forming sandstone. As the sandstone became heated, it formed quartzite, a reddish metamorphic rock. This quartzite can still be observed at areas of high elevations, including Kamiak Butte. The Columbia River basalts make up a large igneous rock province that can be observed throughout the Pacific Northwest. The basalts were formed during the Middle Miocene, about 17 to 14 million years ago, when the Pacific Northwest was flooded with lava. These floods were most likely caused by a mantle plume, which initiated volcanism. The Missoula floods refer to the glacial floods that swept through eastern Washington at the end of the last ice age. They were caused by the sudden rupture of an ice dam near Glacial Lake Missoula. As water burst through the ice dam, it flooded the Pacific Northwest, shaping the geology of the landscape. The climatic conditions of Kamiak Butte are shaped by several forces, including air masses, macroclimate, continentality, and topography. Air masses are large bodies of air that share similar temperature and moisture levels. They can have a significant influence on the weather and climate of a region. Kamiak Butte is influenced by the Pacific Marine Polar Air Mass, resulting in moderate levels of precipitation. Macroclimates describe broad-scale climates of large regions. They are the result of several factors, including pressure. Kamiak Butte sits within a subpolar, low-pressure cell, which is associated with the marine-modified continental macroclimate. Continentality is the degree to which a climate is influenced by an ocean or a large land mass. Because Kamiak Butte is near the Washington coast, it has a relatively low continentality of 6. Areas with low continentality demonstrate more gradual changes in temperature than areas with high continentality. Mountain systems, such as the Cascades, have a strong influence on climate. The Cascades affect the temperature and precipitation of Kamiak Butte by creating a rain shadow, or a dry area on the leeward side of a mountainous area. Kamiak Butte sits on the eastern edge of the rain shadow, so it is cooler and damper than other areas of eastern Washington. A biome is a broad, naturally occurring community of flora and fauna. Kamiak Butte is part of the North American Western Interior Shrublands and Woodlands biome. This biome is characterized by its geologic foundations, vegetation and wildlife, and anthropogenic influences. Because of its unique geologic foundations, the Palouse makes for excellent farmland. Sitting on top of the Columbia River basalts is a thick layer of wind-blown silt, known as a Palouse loess. The Palouse loess covers over 19,000 miles of the Columbia Plateau, and can be found in parts of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Vegetation and wildlife vary across the North American Western Interior Shrublands and Woodlands biome. In Kamiak Butte, native vegetation includes perennial bunch grasses, short shrubs, and wildflowers. Native wildlife includes deer, squirrels, gophers, and owls. Throughout the North American Western Interior Shrublands and Woodlands biome, native vegetation and wildlife are being threatened by anthropogenic influences. These threats include domestic livestock grazing, invasive species colonization, wildfire, and agricultural conversion of lands. In order to preserve Kamiak Butte and other areas of the Palouse, we must manage our lands responsibly. During the week of September 23rd through 27th, students collected data from Kamiak Butte. This data was useful in learning about several topics, including the hierarchy of ecological organization, the influences on ecological character, and the influences on microclimate. Ecological organization describes the arrangement of living things. The 6 levels of ecological organization are biosphere, biome, ecosystem, community, population, and organism. These 6 levels are present in Kamiak Butte. Several factors influence the ecological character of Kamiak Butte, including megaclimate, macroclimate, and mesoclimate. Because Kamiak Butte resides in the temperate megaclimate, it has intermediate moisture and temperature regimes, resulting in summers and winters of equal length. Kamiak Butte also sits within the marine modified continental macroclimate, resulting in the significant changes in temperature observed between summer and winter. Finally, Kamiak Butte sits within the Palouse Hills mesoclimate, resulting in relatively mild conditions throughout the year. Microclimates describe the climates of small or restricted areas. They are influenced by several factors, including topography, soil conditions, and vegetation. Kamiak Butte displays 2 distinct microclimates. The north-facing aspect displays one microclimate, while the south-facing aspect displays another. The north-facing aspect displays cooler temperatures, higher moisture levels, and richer soil than the south-facing aspect. Ecosystem services describe the benefits obtained from the natural environment. These benefits fall into 4 categories, including provisioning, regulating, supporting, and cultural services. Kamiak Butte offers many ecosystem services, improving the quality of life for those across the Palouse. Provisioning services describe the material products obtained from ecosystems. Kamiak Butte yields many provisioning services, including food, fresh water, raw materials, and medicinal resources. Regulating services describe the regulation of ecosystem processes. Kamiak Butte regulates many ecosystem processes, including climate control, carbon sequestration, soil maintenance, and pollination. Supporting services describe those necessary for the production of all other ecosystem services. Many of these services are present in Kamiak Butte, including photosynthesis, biomass production, nutrient cycling, and habitat creation. Cultural services describe the non-material benefits that people obtain from ecosystems. Kamiak Butte provides many of these services, including recreation, aesthetic experience, and cognitive development.